Welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name is April Marie, and today I have the honor of speaking to a woman who has made a large impact both on and off the court. Arizona Wildcats head women's basketball coach, Mrs. Adia Barnes. Welcome
Thank you.
back.
That was a great intro. I should have
Thank
you introduce me
you.
every time. I felt special.
You know what? I really had to practice that because I've had my channel for a little bit now, but you're the first woman that I've ever interviewed.
Are you serious?
Yes, yes. And so having you be the first is huge. So are you kidding me? Of course I had to practice the intro.
That was great. Okay, so make me sound better than all the guys, and I'm good.
Yes, ma'am. But how have you been though? How are you doing?
I've been great. It's been like a whirlwind, just super busy, but great things. Had a chance after we played in the tournament, went to USA basketball, came back for like a short second, then went to July recruiting. Remember, we haven't recruited in 2 years. So a lot going on, but great things. Our recruiting is really taking off. So I can't complain about the status of the program.
That's phenomenal. And your family, how's your family doing? The kids,
Family,
husband?
good, great. My husband actually just walked in here while we're talking. Doing great. We're kind of going on fumes right now because it's been a lot of stuff going on, like
Right.
moving parts. He was with the kids for one of the kids for 3 weeks.
Mhm.
But we're excited. It's good stuff.
That's
I'm
awesome.
glad we're getting back to some normalcy.
Most
Going out and seeing
definitely.
kids. It's just and then practicing. Giving high fives. Those are little things that we couldn't do last year. So it's kind of excited to get back to that stuff.
It's different, but it's definitely fun to be able to do those things again. But I'll get right to it, Coach. You mentioned it earlier, the tournament. Okay, so first off, huge congratulations
Thank you.
because you did lead the Wildcats to their first ever NCAA championship game just recently back in April. When you hear that now, are the feelings still the same, or have those feelings kind of changed, or what are those feelings?
Well, it feels like it was so long ago. So sometimes I forget, like when I call a recruit, I'm like, do you know anything about Arizona? They're like, heck yeah, we watched your run. Like, so it's kind of like, I forget that like so many people watched it. I just
Right.
remember they're like, yeah, I watched you did this, this, this. And I'm like, oh, I forget how many people followed. So it's a really cool feeling. I think the fact that people are so excited about our program, because when I first got here, like no one was excited. They heard Arizona, they were probably like, didn't probably return my calls. So
Uh,
now to have the kids, like their parents say, I love it, you're a mom, and all the things you did, I think it's just flattering, humbling, and I'm happy.
And you mentioned being a mom. Just recently, I read an interview you had with ESPN where you stated that being a mother and being a coach was more of a privilege versus a burden. And that really stood out to me. So now that you're in this role, how do you feel like you've been able to demonstrate to women that you can, in fact, do both? You can have a career and you can be a mother.
So I think I've demonstrated just resiliency, and it's possible. And I think just the possibility. There's so many women that want a family and get out of coaching, or that are starting a family and aren't treated well, or they don't have the support.
Right.
And I think, there's also financial burdens. I think it's really expensive. And when you're a head coach, you might earn a little bit more money to be able to, have, care for your kids. So I think there's so many different layers, but it takes a village. It may not be your family, maybe your friends, and maybe your coworker. People help. And I think that we've showed here that it's possible. But I honestly didn't know until I was in it that I was like the only mom in the top 25 with the infant. Like I didn't know a lot of those things because I was like, wow, I thought more people did it. And I thought just the stuff I'm doing I'm just normal.
Right.
So I didn't understand it was so rare until I was in the moment, but you can do it. I mean, is it challenging? Yes. I think anything worth it is hard, but you find a way and you figure it out, and it gets easier as time goes on.
I was about to ask, was that balance always easy for you, or did it happen gradually over time?
No, the way I look right now, that's I remember before I was a mom, I always had my hair done, my lashes, all this stuff, right? Always looking cute. And I'm always like, dang, that mom looks tore up. Okay, I will never say that again. You understand after you have kids because you don't sleep.
Right.
Like, when you have a baby with a job like this, it's like, it's challenging. So I think you figure out what's important, and certain things like my office is a mess, your house is a little messier, but you figure it out. And I think it's just a part of it, but it's fun. And the women I'm mentoring get to see, okay, she can be a mom, she can be a coach, Like she can wear all these hats and kick ass at them, so they can aspire to do it. I always say, you see it, you can be it. If you don't see it, you can't be it. And there's not enough women and mothers coaching.
And that's huge. I even get chills just thinking of that, because it's like I always felt like sometimes women are forced to choose. So the
Yeah,
fact that you're doing both and doing it so well, I think speaks volumes to multiple women. So
thank
that's
you.
phenomenal. But going back to the start of the tournament, coach, kind of what happened and was made aware to the public was the clear differences in amenities between the women's camps and the men's camps. Why do you feel like these differences still exist even now? And how do you feel like women's college basketball can change that?
I think that there are so many inequities, and there's clearly a discrepancy. But I think a lot of it comes down to economics. And I think that before, men's programs and stuff made so much more money. But I feel like now we make money. We may not make as much as the men's program, but we also don't spend as much. And I think that there are certain entities and stuff where they should have a level playing field, because we're at a disadvantage. We did it later. There's just a lot of other factors. But I think things like the NCAA, that can happen. They make millions of dollars. So even if you have to invest in women's programs for a little bit longer till they catch up, I mean, I think that's okay. But I think the discrepancies can't be so glaring that it's like we have a dumbbell set and they have a full-fledged weight room.
Right,
Like
right.
that's not okay. And it has to be changed. And I think that there's no transparency at the higher level. So if you're saying we don't make any money, but then yet there's 5 million people watching the game. I think the game that we played in, there was over 5 million viewers. You can't tell me that we can't raise $10 million from people. So I think, and then like 17 million people saw Sedona Prince's TikTok. So there is a following that people care, and I think that years ago people didn't care. They care now. You see the NBA, WNBA, they had our back.
Mhm.
But there has to be changes, and I think that we need to see the books. We need to see like what we're earning and what we're not, and you need to allow people to give money. It may not be $10 million like the men, but we need to be able to sell our product, and maybe you get five, but you get something. You don't get nothing, and just throw us into the package. So a lot of things have to change. I think this is the time where we need change.
Mhm. And you talk as somebody who's had the opportunity to kind of see different sides of the sports world. Your career has taken you from student athlete
Yeah.
to broadcaster to pro overseas to now D1 head coach. And despite your journey and all of that, what do you feel like failures taught you along the way?
I mean, so many, just being cut from the WNBA teams multiple times and just having to go and try out for another team. Going overseas, growing in that sense, being away from family, friends. You definitely learn a lot about yourself when you're by yourself, growing. Um, I think just coming to a program where everybody told me not to take this job. They all told me we were bad, and we were bad. And they said, don't take it. It was one of the lowest paid jobs in all Power Five. I think I was the lowest in Power Five, and I was the lowest in the Pac-12 for years. But to me, it wasn't about those things. I don't chase a dollar. It wasn't about the money. It was, can I build something special in my alma mater? If this is a special place for me, can I do it? So I kind of went against everybody, all my friends and mentors, and just tried it and bet on me, and we were successful. So all those things prepare you, make you better. And
Mhm.
we went from like 300 to number 2 last year. So
Wow.
I mean, we've changed a lot, but for me, it's bigger than basketball. Like I'm mentoring young women. A coach will mentor more women or people in a year than other people do in a lifetime. So I'm preparing women for life, teaching them more than just basketball, and they're growing and getting better in the years under my leadership. And I think that's more important to me than the amount of wins I get.
No, that's huge. And I think that speaks volumes. I mean, I've been talking to you for like the past 10 minutes, and I can already tell you have a huge presence about
Thanks.
yourself. Already accomplishing so much. Also, last month, you joined Don Staley's group, and you guys won the 2021 America Cup tournament
Oh,
in Puerto Rico, defending your title. Talk to me about that experience. What was that like for you?
Saba, can you grab the medal so I can show her?
Oh,
It's
she's
a,
got the medal.
so yeah, I know it's my only medal, so I'm excited. I should put it in
So
the case. It's my
cool.
only. but but so first of all, no one thought we were gonna win the gold medal because it wasn't with that normally Don coaches the senior national team. It
Mhm.
wasn't the senior national team. It was because of COVID and times changing and the
Right.
tournament changed. Um, it was all college kids going to compete against senior Olympians.
Wow.
Okay, so
This is
like,
a story of like an underdog.
yeah, exactly. I'm always the underdog. That's
Wow.
my gold medal. I thought a gold medal would be way more goldy. It's not. I was like, isn't this kind of bronzy? But
Hey,
I
does it
wasn't
have some
complaining.
weight on it though?
It actually is super heavy, and it's
Oh,
like,
nice, nice.
I mean, this might be my only one ever, so I need to cherish this.
Oh,
I
don't
didn't get a
say
chance
that. You just started. What are you talking about? That is
No,
awesome.
but it's real. I did honestly think it would look more gold than it does, but no, but also it was all college kids and like, 18 to 22, but we were playing against like teams with the average of like 28, 29 years old. So
Wow.
it was a really hard tournament to win, but it was important to finish like top four. But to win it was like a big accomplishment. Like, but people didn't know that from the outside.
That's huge. And then now you guys will be participating in the FIFA World Cup because of
Yeah.
it, right? So that's
Yeah.
huge.
Well,
Super duper.
and the reason why you want to qualify top four is because let's say the USA didn't win the Olympics,
Mhm.
it qualifies for the next World Cup. So it's really important to be top four, and
Wow. And then
it's
to do it
huge.
with that group of girls, how much more special is that?
It was so special because when I was coaching them, it's like when you coach the best teams, the best players in the country,
Mhm.
you're like, wow, you don't have to motivate people. They're like hungry to learn because they all want to play pro. They're all like excited. So I had a blast. Like I love them.
That is
I
so
still
cool.
keep in touch with some of them, and a lot of them I was like, if I had her, if I had her, if I had her, we'd be really good. I was like, oh, I need to find one of her. Oh, I need to find one of her. It was like I was doing that in practice,
You
and
were
it was
still being a
fun.
coach full time, still thinking about the Wildcats.
I know. It was
That's
fun,
awesome.
and Dawn is amazing.
That is
Dawn is a great
phenomenal.
coach.
And coach, just here recently, big news in the NCAA as they announced policy changes in the ruling of NIL, which means now student athletes will be able to profit from their name, image, or likeness. So,
Yeah.
how are you all as coaches going to prepare for that this season? And does the NIL impact recruiting, if at all?
Oh, I think it does in some schools because schools that have a really big brand. I think people will. I mean, I think it will. But I think for us, it's not really something that we sell or can help with. It's
Mhm.
kind of an outside thing. So what I can do as a coach is prepare my team to be professional in their brand and help them preserve their brand. But we already did that. So
Mhm.
talk about like, on social media, because think about it, every student athlete is one click away from ruining their career. So
Literally.
like literally, and kids are kids. So just educating them on being professional, taking their money, not just doing anything and everything, clearing it so it doesn't affect your eligibility. There's all those things, but I think I'm interested to see how it plays out because I think it's going to really benefit like a really good player
Yes,
or
ma'am.
maybe a really attractive player, like
Mhm.
for marketing. So I'm curious to see how the middle is going to play out and how much people really benefit from it.
And that's going to be exciting to watch both at Arizona and universities across the US. So definitely have to follow up with you in regards to that.
Yeah.
But coach, you've already accomplished so much there in so little time. What do you ultimately want to accomplish with this program? What type of legacy do you envision creating there?
So one of the most important things for me is leaving a legacy. That's one of our mottos. I want to win a championship. So
Mhm.
for me, it's like, yeah, we went to the finals. It was awesome. We lost. So I think for everybody, that was just a huge accomplishment, which it was, like, no doubt, but we didn't win. So I think, I know it's really hard to get there, but I remember we came back here. I was so down. I was so down that we lost. Like, we could have one basket away from winning. And then I remember flying into Tucson. There's like thousands of people. The fire truck, like Mayor Romero, she did so much amazing stuff for us. She had the fire department. It looked like we won. And I remember being really down, like felt like I just got ran over by a train. And then seeing thousands of fans the whole way from the airport on the way back to university, and then go to a stadium that's full of fans. So that's why this place is so special. They showed us so much love, and we didn't win. Like we failed, right?
I wouldn't
But
say failed, but still the support is clearly there.
it's clear. I mean, we have so much support here and just so much love. So I felt like, disappointed that I let everybody down, but we accomplished so much.
Mhm.
No one thought we'd do that. But, then it's hard being second. Like we were second in the Pac-12 and, second final. So for me, the challenge is sustaining success. You get there once, but how do I stay there? How do we recruit to sustain that? coach them up to get there. But that's process, and that's a challenge. So for me, that's a challenge I love. Like it was like the challenge I took the job. Like, okay, you tell me we can't do it, so we're gonna do it. Like you see. So
Ooh,
that's my
I love
motivation. No, that's my motivation
I
right
love
now because I don't want to be a one and done. I don't want to go to the finals the next year
no.
stink.
And you've already proved it to yourself that you clearly know how to get there. So
Yeah,
now it's just like, okay, I've done it once. I can definitely do it again. How long that'll take, it doesn't really matter. What matters
yeah,
is getting there.
exactly. So, but the ultimate goal is to win a championship, and I mean that's what I want to do. That's why I coach.
Ooh, fingers crossed. But fingers crossed. But last question, coach. At the end of the day, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud that I'm a mom and that I feel like I'm a really good mom.
Mhm.
Not perfect. Obviously I work a lot. I don't have a lot of time, but I make time. I make a lot of sacrifices
Mhm.
because my family's really important to me. So I'm proud and I feel like to be a mom and to be able to do what I'm doing at an elite level is very challenging. And I think a lot of people can't do it. So I'm proud that I'm able to do it. Like, is it hard? Is it like, yes, it is. But the fact that I'm doing it and I didn't choose to not have a family because trust me, I was not someone who was like all loving kids and like, oh, bring your kids over here. I was always like doing my own thing. Like I never was around a lot of kids playing pro. So
Mhm.
like I didn't have like the dream of like being a mom and all that
Right, right.
stuff. So I did it later. I'm so glad I did it. And then I did it again. I mean, I had a baby at almost 44.
Wow.
So like that doesn't happen. First of all, that's rare naturally to have a baby that old. But I did it and I'm proud that I was able to balance both of them and like do it at a high level and win. And like I had the baby September 15th. Like we started practice like September 20th.
Wow.
So to do it and sometimes it was hard, but to just not show everybody what was going on behind the scenes, I'm proud that I was able to do that because it took support and stuff and it wasn't easy.
It almost seems like every aspect of your life, from your career to you being a mom, involves you proving to yourself that you can do it. And I
Yeah, of
feel like
course.
that's so important to hear from a woman, because sometimes I feel like, again, also as females, we kind of doubt ourselves like, no, maybe I
For
can't
sure.
do it. Maybe I'm not being the best mom, or maybe I should put my career to the side. But I mean, you're excelling in it. One recommendation out of this entire interview, you need to write a book, because I will purchase it and I will read. I'm adding something to your to do.
No, but even you, like in your career, because I've been in broadcasting, so you're gonna come to a point where you're gonna say, like, can I be a mom and do this? Like, let's say if you're traveling a lot, there will be a time when like you're gonna question if you can do it, or if you can stay in the same profession and do it. Like you may gain a little weight, you may be more tired, like, and part of being on TV is looking a certain way. So there's a time as a woman you second guess that. Men don't really go through that. So you have support. You have to have strong women around you that are like, yeah, you can do it. So you can't. Do you sacrifice something? Yeah, maybe you can't travel as much, but for 6 months, like, or you bring your kid along like me. I bring my kids. And like you don't sleep, okay, but you just find a way to figure it out. So you have to have people that you can like rely on, that you can count on, and strong women around you. Because I remember one of my friends, she's one of the highest administrators in the country at a big time school. She was like, Adia, there's never a good time. You need to have kids. You
Wow.
need to do it. You need to have another one. There is never a good time. You are never going to say you're trying to time everything. It doesn't work like that. You need to just do it and you figure it out. And it's like, that's some of the best advice because I probably would have even had another kid.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm sad that I'm 44 and can't have another one. And like, I wouldn't be able to now, but I wouldn't have second guessed and waited so long. I'd have been like, just do it, figure it out. Like, you'll do it. You find a way. When you really want something, you find a way and you do it. And you do it well because you're determined, right?
Mhm. Right.
So,
Well, there's a way. That is huge.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach. I swear I
Oh,
feel
you're
like I just
welcome.
left church. Like you just preached to me. So thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much to everybody who watched today's interview. Coach Barnes, definitely check her out this season. She's going to do some phenomenal things with the Wildcats. But thank you again for your time, Coach.
Thank you. I look forward to speaking with you again.
Yes, thank you.